Yo, what's good? Say, this is Corey. Yo, friendly neighborhood massage technician coming to you from a touch of liberation. And today is Spirit Talk Sundays. I got a little itchiness on my nose. I don't know where that came from. Today is Spirit Talk Sundays, where I come on here and bless you with some words that come from my heart with hopes that they bring a light, a blessing, a good feeling to your day. Right? Right. So this Sunday, I went to church. Ha! Yay. I was at a Heart and Soul Center of Light today. Reverend Andriette Earl was the speaker today. And of course, she brought the fire and that need to know to get you through your everyday struggles or everyday life's missions, if you will. There was so much that was said. I don't even really know where to start with this to see how I can, put this into a nice little bundle package for you guys. So, I'll just roll with this and see what happens, and whatever happens, yeah, so let's start off with this. There was a little slide that they was playing in the beginning of the talk, and it's kind of going over. I think that there was making percentages off of 100 people in the world and stuff like that. I think there are plenty of people that have seen like those little statistical maps that kind of like give you a perspective on how we relate to the entire world by using a small number such as like 100. And one that kind of stuck out to me that it's like kind of really drives home the, I guess, the first worldness of what we live in some respects is it says here, if you have basic human rights, technically basic human rights, you have a roof over your head, you have food to eat, you have water, clean water, sanitized, and things of that nature, you are richer than 75% of the world. 75%, right? And when you think about that, now I don't know exactly what the number of people are in the world, but I just made a small, not small, but like an average number or estimated number of 7 billion. If there was 7 billion people in this world, you are richer than 5,250,000,000 people by having basic rights of living: shelter, water, food. Are you really struggling? It's the real question. So I pulled that one out. That was definitely something that kind of, again, it makes you feel as if you have a lot more than you believe you have when you're in comparison to things that are around you. So again, it kind of brings back that whole perspective of, be grateful for what you have, because there are those who have less. Of course, there are those who have more, but there are those who have less, and you can. It's not so much to feel as if you are less than when so many people barely have what you have. Appreciate the little things, the basics that you have in your life. Appreciate them wholeheartedly, because there are many people, 5 billion, that don't, yeah, so that was that. And let's see, I want to drive it back there, because I remember I had a talk earlier in my series of spirit talks that was talking about the idea of focus, and I brought up the idea of the little red Corvette thing, what you place your focus on and what comes to your mind, that opens up the world for you to see that perspective, if you will. There was something that was said that kind of opened up my mind to a different aspect of that whole focused idea. When you focus on something, it expands in your world. And it's a quote from Andy Andrew, who said, remember, whatever you focus upon increases. When you focus on the things you need, you find the needs increasing. And this is actually something that I personally have been battling with, because in some respects I tend to keep my focus on the needs that my needs that I need on a daily day. It's like, oh my God, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough this, I don't have enough that. And those things do tend to cloud my mind at times. And just hearing that said, that, like, if you're focusing on your needs increase. Like, if I'm constantly worried about what I need in my life, it's going to expand the idea that I need these things. When really, again, 5 billion people, you have more than what you need. You don't need to keep your focus on that basic, or depending. I'm not saying that no one does, but depending on where your life is, and in regards to the life that I have at this moment, you don't need to focus on those basic needs and start putting your focus on more of what can be expanded to help you live a better and more fruitful life. And that's where it kind of goes for me. So it's more of a mind shift to get away from, okay, you have your basic needs. You have them. You are blessed to be with them. Appreciate that and move on, because there are more things that you can place your focus on than worrying about the things that you already have. You have that. Okay? So now, focus on what you don't necessarily have, or what you want, or what you want the world to become. So there was that. And I guess I'll tail it in with the last part that I caught with one of the little pieces that Reverend Andrea Earl was bringing up. And that one was, the best way to control the future is to invent it. With that, I will say this. As a child, many of us as children, we had great imaginations. And sometimes I'm like walking up the street when I'm coming home and going off into school and stuff like that, and I see children playing in the streets, and they don't have no toys, no gadgets, no nothing. They're just running around on the ground like, little four-legged animals, and just like pretending that the world is some magical place, and they just have this ability to turn everything off. Like the reality that they're sitting in, the concrete that's here, the trash can that's sitting right next to them on the side. It's not a trash can, it's a bush. There's dirt on the ground, there's canopies all over the place. Like, imagination is such a beautiful thing. And as we get older and older, we tend to get away from this, because we start to fit ourselves into the realities that we live. Really, the realities that we live can sit right inside of the imaginations that we have. As a kid, of course, you're very I won't say you are, but it's a free for all for how we use our imaginations. But as we get older, we have to think about the imagination as a use of a tool. It is a tool that we can use to create a world within our minds that we want to see in reality, and begin to place the blocks of work and practice to see the fruition of that imaginative world come to life. This is the power of the imagination. We cannot, as people, leave it to children to have this free-for-all of life within their heads. We can have that too. Just because we're adults does not mean that we lose the ability to imagine. We have to imagine what we want to see before it actually comes to us in reality. It starts here first. It starts in here first. It all comes within us first before it comes out. So, in essence, what I'm saying is don't lose the childlike imagination that we grew up with. It's not just for children. It is for us too, to create, curate what we want to see in this world. There is so much destruction, so much hate, so much this, so much that, and it confines us in these places to where we feel as if the reality that we live in is the only thing that we can see. It is not. We have our own imagination. We can create our own world at any time, any place, actually. We can go wherever we want, right in here. So don't lose that tool. You don't use it, you lose it. It is a practice just like anything else. If you imagine your life to see what it is, just like you would go to the gym every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. I don't know, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. You know, you're in the gym lifting this, lifting that, whatever. Do the same thing for your imagination. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to imagine the world I want to see. Do that. And you'll see how strong that imagination gets. And you'll see how forceful that imagination can be. And you'll see how it can be used to tailor your life towards a place that you want it to go. Because your imagination is what your life is. You need to project that imagined life you want to see. Bring it out. It gets as strong as just any other muscle in your body. Right? It is a tool. Use it to your benefit. Yay? Yay! Either way, I'm gonna cut this thing. Now I say I've been up to about good 12 minutes, so I will leave it here. Hopefully y'all picked up something from what was said. And yeah, so this is Corey signing off saying, this is Corey. Yo. You know, I said that right coming before, but I'm going to keep going. Your friendly neighborhood massage technician coming to you from a touch of liberation. In family. Imagine that you're well.